everybody. On Route 8, we're heading towards Winsted. And today we're going to West Branch Reservoir, or if you're a local Connecticut person, Hogsback. And Hogsback is part of Tungus State Forest. And I have been talking with a fella we're going to call Buck Fever. Boom. We've talked about him before. We're going to one of the sites that he was telling me about. And it's quite interesting. Again, as I mentioned, Buck Fever is a logger, avid hiker, fisherman, and hunter. And he reached out to us, CCIS, and just was eager to talk. And I could just tell right away, me and this fella, we're like that now. He's definitely part of Team CCIS. And we're going there. We're going to Hogsback, and as you can see from the foliage here, this is a spectacular drive. We're celebrating Patty Day. Patty Day is October 20th. It's the anniversary of the famous Patterson-Gimlin footage. We're going to tell you how to properly celebrate that. That is, boom, a CCIS holiday. It's the first, why we're the first Connecticut Cryptid Research Society out there. Of course, we're Connecticut Cryptid Investigative Society. Do our share of research, believe me. So we're going to talk to you when we get out here today. A lot of stuff to share with you, some really great stuff, first-hand accounts. And we're going to talk about another recent report that shares a lot of similarities with the reports from the Reservoir Wildlife Management Area in Harlington. We did a full investigation of that one. Got soaking wet. And, it's been raining a lot. We're going, and remember, it's about getting out there, and that's what we're doing. This place is beautiful. If you go there for this reason alone, it's worth it. But we'll talk about some cryptid stuff when we get on location. One of the ways you're going to celebrate Patty Day is to walk like an Egyptian. Better if you walk like a Patterson-Gimlin. But, back at our headquarters, we did a lot of research, and we figured out that Patterson-Gimlin was walking like an Egyptian way before the song ever came out. And, there again, Bigfoot is just a celebrity, an icon. Yeah, it exists. Come on, cut it out, people. I won't even tell you about the reports we don't tell you. So here we are, Hogsback Reservoir, or otherwise known as West Branch Reservoir, and we are celebrating Patty Day. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's talk about some reports we've been getting. One of them comes from Buck Fever, and again, as I've mentioned him, but I'm going to talk a little more about it today. So he's a logger, and he has gone miles and miles back up in there with his job logging and hunting and fishing and just hiking. We're talking many miles back there. And he was telling me about call taps and crazy howls at night. And we're talking about an avid hunter here who knows all about hunting moose and deer back there. And he was telling me these howls were something that he couldn't readily identify. And of course, that's where we come in. And during our talks, we've been talking extensively now on the importance of reports and things like people like Buck Fever and more. We've been getting more reports lately, and I love that. Thank you. The importance of that is that it adds information to us. We're going to get to that. And information you're not going to find anywhere else. And we sort of, we see patterns that you probably wouldn't get if you just did an online search. And that's why we're here. As I was talking with this fella who was just sharing a ton of information. I was asking him, I could tell he was a credible witness, and so far I would say almost everybody that really reaches out to us has been credible. Most of you, and thank you. But I started to ask him, he was telling me, of course, about the howls and the taps that happen at night. He would camp back there, and there's no campgrounds back there. Take a look. Okay, this is MDC property, and it stretches into Tungus State Forest. And it's your classic, as it's getting late, we're back there, we're logging and we're camping, we're hunting, we're making noise and doing stuff. Except when you're hunting, you're pretty quiet. Then I asked him, have you seen any structures? X's and teepees. We get a lot of X's here in Connecticut. And I said, things that just aren't tree fall or... Now, any structure is anybody would be able to say that's tree fall, which is a natural tree falling, or a human made a hunting blind out of sticks. But it's harder to explain when you're a logger. When you're a logger, you understand trees, you understand how they fall because you don't want them falling on you and killing you. And that got interesting because as I was talking to this guy, my buddy now, this guy's awesome. He's now that you mention it, don't mind our dog, he's all right. Now that you mention it, yeah, we saw a lot of that, X's. And then I said, what about teepees? And he said, oh yeah. And then he mentioned one place in particular. And this was several days ago. And then he was telling me a lot of areas, and that's why we're here today. Look for yourself. I mean, come on. If you think Connecticut isn't squatchy, then I don't know. I'm sorry. Then him and I got to talking about glacial erratic rocks and rock structures. Now, being a logger, he's going to be back there having to deal with these things. And I asked him about arrowheads and miniature arrowheads. And he, as a logger, couldn't have time to mess around looking for that stuff. There's chainsaws and things. So I told him my experience, how I've never really found any yet. We just started looking. We're going to find some, but I haven't found any yet. And asked him about, we've done a whole episode talking about pucks, and one of the things that would definitely be left behind by them would be small arrowheads. So I joined a Facebook group and asked them, and of course they were messing around with me because I didn't know anything about it. And then all these pictures of tiny little arrowheads came up. So I'm like, okay. Now they say that's Native Americans making offerings to the spirits. Sounds very plausible. To me, it doesn't really add up. When you overlay where these little ones are found and where the pucks are supposed to be, and then that overlay it makes a perfect map. No. So you go back there. Now, there is a path here behind the camera person. You don't need to pan over there. But that path just goes a little ways and ends up at the river, back into the lake here. And this is a proper lake, artificial impoundment. But just up the road here, to the entrance of the MDC, there's a gated road. Now, he used to drive up that road. He'd say a good 5 to 10 miles back there. And there's crazy old foundations and stuff like that. And man, we're going to get back there with this fella. But it's stormy today, so we're not. So we're just doing this. And I'd have to say, solid 5. Look at this back here. And you couldn't come at a better time. He was talking about deer hunting to me. And I don't hunt, but my family does. And it's awesome. But we don't do it. But you're going to get the best information from hunters, especially bow hunters. He's a hunter with long guns. And he was saying back when he started hunting back here some 20 years ago, deer were very plentiful. And moose were too. It was not as common as deer, but they did occur here. And, he loved it. But lately, he's telling me that there aren't as many. There's not nearly as many deer. In fact, he said there's no deer. I see him, but he's right. They're sort of absent. He said where he hunts back there logging, he started finding mountain lion footprints. Now, this is many years ago. This was, they would start appearing as he would notice that the deer populations were coming down, and he theorized that the state introduced mountain lions to prey on the deer, to reduce the populations to where they should have been. And that made a lot of sense with me. And for years, and this is just a fact, you can look online right now and just say Connecticut history with mountain lions, and they'll swear up and down they haven't been here. I know they're in Yale State Forest. And this is going back 15 years or so. And they're out there now. The fact that he thinks they were introduced here on MDC property. Do I need to say any more? I mean, I believe it 100%. I do. And then, of course, now these guys, once they've introduced them apex predator, and once they've reduced the deer population, what's next? I mean, get your dogs. They're not going to really go after packs of coyotes. They're a dangerous predator. So there's that. And while we're filming, I want to talk about another report that has just come in fresh off the printer here. I mean, this just came in yesterday. And this report is in two different places. I'm just going to say, don't mind the dog, people. It's all right. Let him, he's tied up, people. So don't see him. Worst squatching dog in the world. If you don't want to see a squatch, bring him with you. He has to be tied up because he's been misbehaving. So these reports, I'm just going to say, because we're going to investigate it, and yeah, after we go there, we'll post it. The Farmington watershed area, which, as I'm getting this report, it just followed the pattern of our Reservoir wildlife management area that we filmed in Harlington not too long ago. So this report, so similar. Now he had two encounters in two different places within this watershed. And he's there fishing this place at night, getting on dusk, and all of a sudden there's tree taps, loud tree taps, three, which of course, you know, we usually just do one, but he did three. First he heard three, then he did three. Then he got a response. Later on, he kept fishing, and he heard howls that, you know, like your classic Bigfoot howl. And it's about that time he decided he needed to move on, and actually had an eyewitness encounter. And I looked at the map, which I love to do, and I'm like, okay, so Farmington watershed area, I'm not going to give you the exact location, not yet. And the Roarbeck. Smack dab in the middle of that is Nepog Reservoir. It just makes the perfect greenway for an upright hominid to just travel to these two different locations. Some protected, some MDC, and some just, you know, state forest. But there's a definite greenway there, clear as day. And the similarities of the reports, again, you know, like we talked about the rake reports and the truck drivers, these people don't know each other. They have no way of knowing that this other person had almost an identical encounter. And the overlying sense of this, the one that happened with the one that we got yesterday, also had that classic smell of that skunk, that musty, stinky smell. When I was interviewed by Richard Sear on Claw's Corner, he asked me, "Have I ever seen that?" And I said no. And I said none of our reports have ever mentioned that either. And so now we have one from Farmington watershed area. It has all the classic stuff. And so I'm saying to you, if you wanna see a Bigfoot, get yourself fishing to a pond in a wildlife management area and let everyone else leave. And you probably shouldn't be there anyway, because here in Connecticut we don't like to have any fun, so everything closes at dusk. I'm kidding. Not really, I'm not. So you shouldn't have been there anyway. And of course, when humans aren't supposed to be there, let's just say you're something unusual, some biological form. Well, if humans aren't there, not supposed to be there, that's a prime time for me to get out there if I was a cryptid and start doing some stuff. Like, what are you doing fishing in my pond, dude? I'm just saying. So there's our reports. I'm sure I missed up a couple details because, but the similarities are there. And so we're going to go on location to these two locations in the Farmington watershed real soon. But we got our report from Buck Wild from here and other places. But this one, I just wanted to show you. I'm so glad we came here today. If you like fishing, all right, you can drive down this road right here. There's the boat launch. And I recommend you troll. Buck Fever said Phoebes and goldfish, the goldfish lures, the metal lures. You can troll along there. If not, if you're going to fish from shore, right out here along this side, that's the most productive areas. You don't need to go way over there. I've canoed this extensively, so if you want to fish this and catch there's some big trout. Or now I haven't fished this in years. This is interesting. Or according to Buck Fever, until that woman caught that big pike up here, there's no more trout. So listen, people, your biology is changing rapidly. Within the last 10 years, you go from overabundance of deer to, the hunters are saying, there's not enough to bother with. And look at that. Are you kidding me? I can tell you there's tons of acorns back there. So if you got reports, come on, send us out. We will follow up. We appreciate that. And I'm telling you, so far, everybody's just sincere and looking for answers. And that's what we're doing too, We're trying to fill in the pieces, but we can help you with the patterns because we get reports from all these anonymous people. And again, I'll reiterate, if you want to see a Bigfoot, get up to the northern area of Connecticut into a wildlife management area that has a stream or a pond and hang out longer than you should be. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do it. All right. It's about getting out there. Thank you, everybody. We love you. Of course, send us your reports. Check out our latest videos. And get out there yourself. If you're not in New England this time of year, you're not where you should be. I'm gonna untie the dog now. By the way, if you come here, awesome picnic tables. I don't see any grills, and there's a lot of goose poop here. If you like goose poop on your lawn, this place has it. What do you think, camera person? Look at that. That's some good, fresh goose poop. Excellent. There's a mushy one over here. Got a little different color. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to try that today. I'm not. Everybody's like, do it. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to need that bully kid from 7th grade to make me do that. Somebody lost their hair, so thank you. Listen, we're just having a great time today. It's a beautiful place and a beautiful time of year. And yes, you can hike back there, and we're going to get back there. I'd howl right now, but there's too many people. I'm not going to do it. Another time. We'll see you out there. Thank you. We love you. Oh, look at this. Okay, we got a lure here. This is one of my favorite lures right here. That's a Rapala 3-inch diving minnow. Tells you what to use here. River access ramp, whatever. Class A, do not touch the water. Personal watercraft are allowed, don't have any fun. Basically, that's because all this is the same. But they're talking about a zebra mussel alert. Zebra mussels are an invasive species, and any invasive species doesn't belong in this environment. They're going to clog intake valves and all sorts of stuff, and they're going to take away the zooplankton because that's what they feed on. They're bivalve ventricle zooplankton feeders, and they're competing with the native mussels that are also in that species of bivalve mollusks that feed zooplankton. So, and the kokanee salmon that are in here also feed on zooplankton. So these guys, I'm not saying they're bad, they don't belong here. And of course, MDC has its own police services. Good to know, right? Definitely don't have any fun. Dogs must be picked, all that, pick up your poop, no swimming in reservoir, no camping, buck fever, come on. I love that. He goes, listen, he goes off of their property, okay? He's a logger, he's working there, he has permits. He does. So when you come here, enjoy the scenery, follow the MDC rules, and don't have any fun at all. Definitely do not touch the water. It's a beautiful place, Connecticut. Probably a very underutilized recreation area. Look at nobody's out here today. Cold weather, trout like cold weather. And I haven't fished here in years. I haven't fished in years. Used to be my thing. Pike like cold weather. So you're gonna catch something, especially if you troll that minnow around or something similar. You're gonna get one. You're gonna get a bent rod. So, hey, tugs and fishes, everybody. Tugs and fishes, we love you. So let's hear from you. Anybody. Dog waste must be picked up and removed, and they're not kidding here. But what it doesn't say anything about is goose poop. And oh look, right underneath the sign is dog poop. MDC, you're not doing your job. You're not arresting enough people walking and having fun and dogs pooping. You could at least slap $100 fine on top of them, you know? Talk about that later. You know what I'm saying, guys? Come on, step it up. I'm almost having fun here myself. Oh, look, here comes some, oh, there's a ticket on my car. We love you, MDC. Like I said before, you guys are right up there with the DMV. I can't begin to tell you how much love we have for you. So down here is the spillway to the dam. Over there is where the dam falls. And that begins the Still River. Excellent trout fishing. And then that goes into the Farmington River. We're talking to some fishermen over here, and they're going after trout today. According to Buck Fever, you should go after pike. I mentioned that. Like any fisherman. I'm here to drink beer, dude. This is the poopiest place. No wonder they have all these signs. This is one of the poopiest places you could ever find. There's even on top of this here. Awesome granite walkway. It's magnificent here. You could see, I mean, so this fella gets way back there and he's telling me there's some crazy old foundations and some wild stone structures back there. And I can believe it. They spare no expense. Look at this thing. This is like a Greek temple. Look at it. All right, listen. I'm a mason. You're gonna have to wait out here. I'm gonna go inside. This is the pump house. Okay. Metropolitan District was started in 1929 to design the sewers for the Hartford County and provide fresh water. This thing is a monster. And it's just a pump house, but holy moly. Talk about well built. 1929. All it needs is a little spar varnish on that door. MDC, I could take care of that for you. It'll be like under $30,000, so you'll be used to that kind of crazy budget. Contact me. I'm not going to promote business here, but you guys definitely know how to contact me. I'm pretty sure of that. So, wow. I'm starting to think I like this more than Seville. Seville, you know the thing with Seville, there's always a ton of people there. This is more approachable. Like Seville is stretchy. This is cool. I love this place. So, wow. I mean, just any number of things. Fever said it's. I can't wait to get way back in there. I'm seeing lights back there. It's no road. Yeah, right over there. That's part of the dam. But look at this here, this gorge. And I was telling a camera person, I was here fishing when the water was flowing over. And I had a motorized canoe. And there's no indication. That's flowing over. It's like an infinity pool. And I just got a weird sense I could hear this rumbling. And I saw the pump house and I decided to turn. When I turned, I got sight of it. Like, holy moly. If I had continued, and thank God, if I had just a paddle canoe, I might have been in real trouble because you see the wind's blowing here. As you can see, that would be game over. This is awesome. Oh, whoa. I love the MDC for all the signs. I want to make sure when you come here, don't cross this fence. Look. Not a bad idea. That's what I would have tumbled over these cliffs. That would have been a whitewater experience, like right up there. So this is spectacular. Connecticut's beautiful. Let's get over to the kiosk. And that's it. So if you really want to avoid all the fun pictures of the kids having birthday parties at Batterson Park and stuff, go visit the Connecticut Department of Tourism website. If you want to see cool places to go, check us out. No, it's only funny because it's true. The weight limit, of course, they're going to provide you with the weight limit. I shouldn't have been on that bridge. It's okay. I didn't know. Didn't check with the NBC. Again, there's a no trespassing sign. There's another red sign. Oh, this one's the no drones. It's okay for them to have them. And electronic surveillance. Forget Area 51. You go into MDC properties, you're going to be on an episode of Missing 411. Not. This is a no drone zone. That's the coolest thing that NBC ever did. Takeoff and landing of remote controlled or unmanned aircraft or drones is prohibited at this location per our friends MDC ordinance. Guys, I can't say enough. Here we are. They show you pictures of the Farmington River. They always show you sea otters. It's a shame. I haven't seen one in years. So, watch yourself here, camera person. Epoch State Forest, I told you about that. So between the two places, where are we up here? And then this is the spill off. And then this hooks into the Farmington River. This here is Squash Central. lot of reports, probably just as many as Richfield County. All right, that's it for today from the most beautiful reservoir in Connecticut. Crazy off the charts, squatchy. We squatchometered it at a solid 5. It's beautiful, chilly. It's quintessential autumn day. Gonna go find something with pumpkin spice. That's what we do here in New England. We're addicted. Thank God that Connecticut legalized pumpkin spice. It's now available for recreational use. You can get it at any chain coffee shop, but don't do that. Support your little brewers there, your roasters, and get some coffee spice in you. You too. You get that spice in you, you might just become the Cuisart Hattara. And I know my Squatch people know what that is. It's from Dune. Spoiler alert. Okay, we'll see you. So just down the road from Hogsback, we're driving here through Riverton, and we're driving in the Farmington River, and you could see this place gets a lot of Squatch reports, a lot, might be the most, and you can see why. And it's just gorgeous. We are just loving this today. This looks every bit like you would imagine Vermont to look, but a lot easier, if you live in Connecticut. And, wow, it's just beautiful today. Glass is fogging up, but thank you. We love you all. Thank you.